Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2010, it's a Nissan Maxima. The customer complaint is that when they're driving the vehicle over bumps, they hear a rattling noise in the left front. They also hear like a tinny type noise on the right side front. Two noises, two different problems. I will explain both of them to you and how we're going to resolve both of them. The easiest one is underneath the bottom of here on this particular car. On the front pipe, I'll bring in and show you as well, there's a heat shield underneath there that actually shields any kind of leaves or debris from touching into the hot pipe in the front. The clamps that actually hold that rotted away and they were just jingling on the pipe. So when it was idling, the clamps were jingling and causing a little bit of a noise. Let me get them, I'll show you what they look like. These are the clamps that actually rotted away. These actually hold on the front flex pipe up on the Y pipe area, and this one actually holds up the heat shield. These we really don't need to do anything with these because it's not touching anything or making any noise. The one that goes on here, we need to correct it. So basically what we're going to do is you want to keep the heat shields on there as long as you possibly can without removing them, because like I said, it shields the leaves and debris from touching into the hot pipes and possibly igniting. I try to leave them on as long as they can until they rot off, and then we have no choice, they'll fall off. Basically, you just take a hose clamp. I'm not even going to show you this, it's so simple, anybody can do it. You just basically take a hose clamp, wrap a hose clamp around it, screw it tight, and it tightens up the shield. That's the easy problem. The next problem they have is that the left front, when they go over the bump, they get that rattling noise. So I'm going to show you how to check everything in the front end to make sure that there's nothing else that's wrong. With 55,000 miles on this, kind of unlikely it's going to be anything except what I'm going to show you. So let's go up there. I'm going to show you how to check the ball joints, how to check your struts, and then how to check your sway bar bushings and sway bar links. The links is what the problem is, but I'm going to show you right now. So come on, let's take a walk. Okay, so the first thing we're going to check is we're going to check the strut right here. Now, if this was leaking oil or any kind of fluid out of there, I'd say it's a good possibility the strut itself is no good. But it's not leaking any oil, so it's kind of unlikely that it's going to be anything as far as the strut. The bearing plate up here appears to be okay. I did already look underneath the hood to make sure that that bearing plate was good, which it was. Next thing we did is we came down over here. And this is going to be a little hard to show you, but I'm going to try. We checked that ball joint right there. And the way you check the ball joint, let me grab a pry bar, I'll show you what I mean. The way you check a ball joint is you come down underneath here with a pry bar and you pull up and down on the control arm itself. Now you see that movement there, that's not the ball joint that's flexing, that's actually the control arm itself flexing on the rubber bushing in there. So that ball joint is nice and tight. We also, before I took the wheel off, we actually got up underneath here with the jack. We lifted up on this control arm to take the weight off of it, and we rocked it to make sure that the ball joint was good. So I know that that ball joint is good. Next thing we checked over here was down in the bottom over here. These in here, let's point that out to you. Right down inside there, that piece right there, that's the one bushing for the lower control arm, and that appears to be in good condition. The way you would check that is you would come up underneath here with the pry bar like this, and you would pry up and down to see if you have any movement in there. We'll do the same thing on the bottom. We get up underneath the bottom right in here, and then we just pry it up and down. And you can see a little bit of movement in that. Let's see if we can see it. A little bit of movement in that bushing, but the bushing overall is in good condition. This one back here, you can see it's starting to separate a little bit. Not a big deal, it's not broken yet, so that's not the noise either. And then we just lift up and down on this, and you can see that the rubber is flexing just the way it's supposed to. So we know that that's not the problem either. That's normal wear and tear. The problem we have is not so much with the sway bar bushing in there. Let's get a light in here so you can see. Frequently that bushing right inside there, that bushing that holds that bar in place, frequently that bushing is no good. But the way you would check that This is going to be tough to show you, but I'm going to try to the best I can. You get your hands up inside here, and you take the bar, and you lift the bar up and down. There should be no movement in that bushing right there at all, and there is not. Last thing we checked, which is the problem right here, is these are your stabilizer links right here. They go up to the top strut. What happens is when you grab this and you move it, I don't know if you can hear that. That's the noise, and of course that noise amplified by the weight of the vehicle on here, it's going to be very, very loud. Alright, so we know that these stabilizer links are no good. They need to be replaced. Now, honestly, I did already take the other side apart, and I used an air gun to shoot these off, but I'm going to show you how to do it by hand because I know you guys don't have an air gun working in your driveway. A little bit more work, but it does come out without a real big problem. So, all right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out, of course, what size they are. These I know are 18 millimeter, and as far as removing them, what we're going to do is we come in here and right in the back, right here, we'll get on this. Like that, and we're going to take the actually this will have to go this way, like that, and now we're going to come in here with a wrench from around the back right here, come in the back over there with the wrench, and then we're going to try to get this to lean this. Now, you will notice now, I have the wrench leaning up against this tie rod here because that's going to keep this from rotating while I turn that wrench on the inside right there. So let me set you up on a stand, and then we're going to continue. Okay, so now we're going to use the correct size wrenches in here. This one here is actually, it's a 19 millimeter. So we're going to put this on here like that, and now we're going to come around the other side, and we're going to break this loose right over here. So that's what we're going to do right now. Now you can see your wrench is moving. That's why you're going to wedge it up against the control arm, the tie rod end, so that it doesn't move while you're turning it. Now it is extremely tight, so you will have to be careful you don't break your knuckles. Now if you have a socket, you can use a socket on it, or you can get in here with a wrench like this. It's a ratcheting wrench. You can come in through here. We're going to hold this one, and we'll take this one out. And once you get to a certain point, you can usually take it out by hand. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing. Let's get some light up here so you can see up here maybe. Hopefully you can see that okay right up there. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our wrench that we had around the back over here. We're going to wedge it against something. We may have to hold this one by hand actually. Like that. And like I said, you can get in here with a ratchet as well, like this. And you hold your wrench so it doesn't turn, and you just break it loose. Hold this in the back. Okay, now our sway bar is disconnected, the link, take it out. We'll take the link out down the bottom. And I'm just going to show you, where that movement takes place. Now you can't hear this, but I can feel it in through the bottom. I can feel this ball right here. It's got a little bit of play right inside there. So that's the problem. So all right, let's get the new links, and we'll put this thing back together and get it out the door. Okay, so now we have our replacement parts to put back in the vehicle. You want to make sure that your links are exactly the same, because there's a left side and a right side. Now you can see how these two are facing the exact same direction. Now we're just going to turn it around. Now this one is actually just turned a little bit here, but I just want to point this out to you too. You see, this is exactly the same direction as this one. Now if this was the other side, this, instead of pointing slightly to the one side, it would be slightly pointing to the other side. So make sure you match them up so you get the correct ones on the correct side. They will still screw in, but it'll put a lot of stress on the joint itself. All right, so now that we have our replacement, we're going to put this back inside. I do want to tell you this, the other side I have hanging in there. It's not tight. The links are actually caught in there, but they're not tightened up. So we're going to put this one together first, and then we're going to shoot the other one back on the other side. So, all right, let's continue on this now. Let's see. Okay, let's get some light on. All right, so basically you're just going to put it back in. You're just going to put the link back in exactly as it was. Now we know that this part here was facing to the inside, so that's how we're going to put it back on. We're just going to put it in, and we're going to catch the nut on the bottom loosely. We're not going to tighten anything up yet. And we'll put our link through the top here as well. Now obviously if you have the air, you can shoot it on with the air. But I know in your driveway you're not going to have it, so again I'm going to do this by hand. You just hold the wrench in the back. Remember, we had that nut in the back right there. We're going to slide this on the nut like that, and we're going to hold that nut stationary while we tighten it up. Okay, and now once we have that one tight, we are going to tighten up the other one. But the other one we're going to use a ratcheting wrench, just because it's a little easier to get in there with it. Okay. Okay, now there is torque specs on that. I'm going to look it up now, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to tighten these up. But that's it. You're pretty much all set. Once you torque these down to the proper foot-pounds, then you're all done. Obviously, I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. But that's it. Our noise will be gone. I'll throw the wheels on, take it for a drive, and then we're out the door. I did fix that rattle underneath the bottom. I don't know if I told you about that, but I took care of that yesterday. And that's it. We're good. We're good to go. All right, so that is absolutely the noise that we were getting, that play inside the joint itself. All right, as always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.